Zelazny might have a run here. He pulls up, 2 laps to go at Auto Club Speedway. What a run this has been. 5 cars out front just dancing around for the lead. Salas back to the bottom. Honeycutt stuck up top. Slide job out of Salas. Crossover out of Honeycutt.
23 showing a big run here. He does.
You see Salas starting to cover it up. He goes up the racetrack. Honeycutt's clear of them both. He shoves it up in front of the 23, gets himself loose. It'll be white flag this time by. Salas down low. Zelazny looking for a hole. Side by side, 3 wide, coffee in it. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. Brought to you by Whiplash Simcams. Who is going to win the Luke's Playhouse 200? Honeycutt controlling the race. Coffee in second. Tires are aging. Zelazny off the top rope. Got a little bit free. He's going to crash with lights. And yes, wall there. Who knows? Honeycutt, though, leading the race. Can Coffee get a run? He's going to send it. He hits him. Big bump and run. Coffee's going to try and get away. Can Salas get there? Coffee's going to crash. Salas is going to crash. Watch Nick Lights here to the stripe. Salas is going to do it with no front bumper.
Unbelievable.
Wow. There's the white flag from Barney the Flagman. 1 lap to go at Long Beach. White flag is out, brought to you by Whiplash Simcams.
Yeah, can really hold him off. He looked like he's started to gap Cantonio just ever so slightly. Got about half of a second. It's been hovering right around there. Oh, Cantonio really pushing. He's sideways out of turn number 1. But Rayleigh just keeping that car pointed in the right direction. Nice and smooth, able to keep it going. It's going to be tough. Antonio knows that there's not very many chances, even if he can get close enough to him to make a move. So we'll see as they come through 6 and 7, head toward turn 8 onto the backstretch.
Deeper in the field, nothing changing. Lap traffic ahead. It's Kevin Peak and Bradley Alvis right in front of our race leaders down East Seaside Way. And to turn number 9 for the final time, lap traffic in the way, and Rayleigh goes for it on peak. He sends it into turn 9. He knows he can't wait. He knows he can't give an opportunity to Kevin Cantonio. Cantonio's going to take it anyway, ships it into the hairpin, and Rayleigh's going to get away. Thomas Rayleigh is going to be a race winner in the North American Racing League. A last lap bump and run wasn't enough. This man wins at Long Beach.
Wow, what a finish coming through that hairpin. I thought they were all going to wad it up. We had lap traffic in there, staying in there.
Nestled betwixt New York's Finger Lakes is one of America's, nay, the world's, most interesting road courses. Its history is similar to that of Le Mans or even Road America, in that it was derived from simply country and town roads, and it evolved into what it is today. But since the beginning of its story, everything since then has kind of been its own story, leading Watkins Glen to become one of the fastest, most daunting, most exciting, and most enjoyable road courses anywhere in the world. And we're on the iRacing virtual version of it tonight to decide the next North American Racing League Pro Champion. Welcome to Pitstop TV and the virtual brain. I have Elkhart Lake still on the monitor. It should be, of course, Watkins Glen. We would have been at Road America to capture this moment of ending the championship, but this race was postponed due to a schedule conflict back in March. And so here we are at Watkins Glen, different from how we settled things for the amateur drivers. That said, my name is Andrew Cardinale IV with Blue Carl back alongside, and it is a pleasure to join you for coverage of North American Racing League GT3 season number 9. As you saw, of course, all season's coverage has been brought to you by Moradness, by JS Consulting, and by Screw Compressor Service Incorporated. And Blue, here we go. Watkins Glen International, the boot and all. It is a fantastic place to race.
I mean, it's wonderful. I started out not liking this circuit, but then I fell in love with it. It's such a high-speed circuit, and you see that just from the first turn. You got a lot of run out there. 2 to 4, nice and flat. It's S's. Think of El Rouge and Radion. Bus stop. It's not counted as a turn, but it's a lot of fun. It's like the original Daytona. Turn 5, very fast, taking that fourth gear all the way around the carousel. Get down to laces at turn 6. Speedier than you'd think, left-handers. 7 right-hander, nice big U-turn. 8, it's almost like just a tiny bit of a sharper turn 1. Similar speeds through it. 9, a very tricky. 10, almost flat left-hander. 11, deceivingly fast right-hander to round out this track. Very simple track, very tricky at the same time. I'm excited to see how these drivers tackle it today.
It's a very simple track, simply technical. Every bit of this racetrack is technical, and every bit of making a lap around here is technical. You have to be absolutely picture perfect, precise in every movement you make with the steering wheel, the pedals, what have you. You've got to be perfect around Watkins Glen if you want to compete at the front of the field. This is just one of those racetracks that everything happens so quickly. You can't afford to have mistakes. You can't afford to get loose, go a little too far over the curbing, any of that. You've got to be absolutely dialed in all night long. And I'm glad you likened turn 8, by the way, the heel, to turn 1, the 90, because, you know, every time that I've driven here, any sports car, anything, I have felt like I should be able to push turn 8 a bit more like turn 1. But it is sharper than turn 1. You can see it there on the track map. It's a bit more than that 90-degree angle, probably 100 and, I don't know, 10 or something, 115, I don't know, but
Just about.
yeah, it's just, yeah. It's I guess it would be technically more on the 75 side, and you get my point. It's a tighter angle, it's difficult, and it's deceiving, because it's the setup to it is very similar to the front stretch and into turn 1. You're over a hill and then downhill a little bit, and you feel like you can carry a lot of speed like turn 1, but it just is not the same. That particular corner, turn 8, has always caught me off guard, no matter what car I drive here. It can be an LMP2, I've won the 6 hours of Watkins Glen, an LMP2 car, or it can be a Mazda Miata. It does not matter. It literally does not matter. Turn 8, for some reason, has always caught me out, and I wonder if that might be one of the deciding corners here this evening. Let's get into the iRacing.com sim here. Qualifying is happening on the racetrack as we speak, and this is, as they say, for all the marbles. Let's take a look at the point standings coming into tonight. This is on the pro side, and this is the juicy battle, admittedly. The Pro-Am side, not nearly as exciting, but this is where we're watching every little bit of action tonight, including the fact that Juan Blanat is having connection issues in qualifying and might not make the start of the sprint race tonight. That gives every opportunity to Ralph Benitez, and possibly even still to Nicholas Rubelar and Dino Filippa, depending on how things go here. I'm looking in the session. I do see Ralph is here today. He is currently 6th in qualifying in class, 7th overall. And Nicholas Rubelar is currently 2nd in class and overall, with Dino right behind him. Things are going to be very, very tight. It's going to happen very quickly. I will say Scott Reister is on his A game tonight. He is going to be feeding us as much info as he can about points and all of that. I want to come back to Pro with you here in a second, Blue. Let's take a look at Pro-Am standings first. It's Noel Marone. I mean, straight up, it's Noel's got the championship. So long as he starts the race today, each of them, he'll earn enough points to capture this thing up. So Noel Marone looking good. And then number 28, Blas Diaz. I mean, it's been a great season for Blas, Paulo, and Miguel, even Hector, even Jacob Stavko. But it's just not going to be enough for that championship. So that is the Pro-Am side. But back on the Pro side, this is where it's really interesting, especially if, well, Juan is back in the session, but he's only got 2.5 minutes to set a lap here, Blue. This is going to be really, really tight for him.
Now, you were talking about a lot of names back there, and Blade Nat's a good name, but a name I really want to bring up is the top of the time chart right now, Mateo there. He's been a bit of a surprise these last few races, and I think he's gonna throw a bit of a wrench into this championship race, because there's no blue flag, and even then blue flags don't mean get out of the way. There's someone faster behind you, but Mateo isn't gonna be getting those. It's gonna be race on for him and for everyone else. So could we see him causing a bit of an upset for the pros? I think it's something to keep an eye on.
He's been doing exactly that since what? I think Suzuka, probably race 6. I think.
Suzuka, I want to say.
Yeah, he's been spoiling the party for the guys that are still running for the points championship. So maybe that is the case for Nicholas Mateo here this evening. As there's a look at Nicholas Rubelar on the other side of things, trying to make the comeback kind of fight here for the championship. By the way, Thiago Moya on top of Pro-Am poll currently over Marone, Diaz, and DePaula, the next 3 in line in Pro-Am. Currently, all of the pro drivers that have turned a time are faster, not by a whole lot, but faster than the entirety of the Pro-Am field. This might be one of the evenings that we have that rare setup where we don't actually have too much intermingling between classes, but there's Rubelar in the number 77 now for Team NARL after Drago Racing shut its doors. Robin Pascucci into the pit lane, Jackson Resende wrapping up his lap, and this is the one that we have to watch. I don't think there's a world in which Blanat gets back to the line, not in 45 seconds.
No, not quite. I don't think so. I don't think it's happening.
So Juan Blanat, unfortunately, going to have to start from the rear, not just the rear of the pro grid. No, this is the rear of the overall grid in the sprint race. That's 20 minutes to go from 29th as far forward as he can to try and hit that invert in the top 8 to hopefully salvage maybe a win in the feature.
And I always wondered this about the drivers. When they have a showing like this, I wonder if they know we're talking about them up here in the broadcast booth. Because you join late, you get this, you try to do a qualifying, you need 40 more seconds, and qualifying is out of time. You don't get a lap in, you gotta go to the sprint race now. I wonder if they know, this is about to be some material for those broadcasters up there.
I do wonder that sometimes myself. Like, what are they thinking as we're saying all of this? Are they, in fact, watching? Sometimes drivers do watch the broadcast, or at least have it on another monitor or in the background or something while they race. So that's a great point. What are they thinking? Are they listening to us? Are they watching us at the same time? Now, I will say it does look like Juan Blanat has been given a row of reprieve, if you will, on the grid, and it looks like he'll start from 27th versus 29th. There were 3 cars at the back that did not set a time. Those are Juan Blanat, Scott Kimbrough, and Mike Braun. So the iRacing gods have not necessarily smiled upon him, but they gave him a slight break there at the end of qualifying and let him start from 27th instead of 29th. That's not much of a difference, but maybe it's enough. I don't know. A
car per minute gets him into the switch. I'm just saying it.
There you go. There you go. And yeah, I mean, there's enough passing zones here. You could make 2 passes per lap. That's about 2 cars per minute. So maybe it works out, but it's going to be a challenge for sure for our current points leader coming into the evening. Ralph Benitez is going to roll off 7th. So, I mean, this is a huge opportunity for Rubelar and Philippe, although they didn't even qualify too great, honestly. 3rd and 5th for themselves. We'll take a look at the starting grid in just a moment as cars get ready here on the front stretch. I do want to take a look at the weather conditions coming into this evening. There you see 71.8 degrees ambient temp, 92 track temp, and that humidity is nice and manageable down at 19.2%. The date and time in sim, we're sitting 4:30 in the afternoon, actually. So we're going to race into some of the later hours So these temps could actually go up slightly, and we are going to get some longer shadows as the evening progresses. I do also want to take a look before we go racing here at the power rankings coming into the evening, and then we'll take a look at the grid. Nicholas Rubilar. Honestly, I mean, there's not a whole lot to report here. Rubilar has just been lights out, and sure enough, he tops the rankings coming into this evening, but he's got some work to do. He'll be starting third tonight. Juan Blaine out, of course, coming from the back here of the sprint field. Benitez from 7th, Dino Filippa from 5th, Roman Pascucci will be starting from 4th. We'll go through the full grid in a second, but it is interesting to me that at this point we only have the one Pro-Am driver in Noel Marone on this graphic.
And, you know, I think if he finishes there, he can expect to see himself getting maybe a bit of a promotion coming up into the next season with the Porsche Cup.
Yeah, I do think he's possibly in line for one. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. But let's take a look at the starting grid for this evening's sprint race here at Watkins Glen. On pole, how about Nicolas Mateo out of Spain? It's an all-Spaniard front row. Mateo and Rico alongside one another, but in different machinery. One in an Aston Martin, the other in a Mercedes. On back to row number 2, how about Nicholas Rubilar and Roman Pascucci out of Chile and Argentina, respectively. A Mustang alongside a Vantage, Aston Martin Vantage, of course, and then Dino Filippa and Jackson Resende back in row number 3. Row number 4 gives us Ralph Benitez and our Pro-Am pole sitter of Thiago Moya in the Ford Mustang out of Brazil. A little farther back to complete your top 10, a couple of Argentinians. How about Noel Marone and Blas Diaz? Row number 6, it'll be Nick DePaula alongside Fabio Zamperlini, from a couple of Argentinians to a couple of Brazilians there in row number 6. And row 7 gives us Miguel Colon alongside Lucas Souza. 15th spot this evening, Chris Winstone. Best of luck to him. We've been chatting with him, of course, for weeks now. He's been broadcasting the amateur side of this series with us, and we've been getting him out of the oval side as well. But he's been having some fun with that. He'll be starting alongside the sweeper of last round's Pro-Am races. That's Jacob Stofko. He won in Pro-Am in both races at Road America last round. Joaquin Melo will start from 17th. Diego Era there from 18th. 19th and 20th gives us Josue Ramirez and Ricardo Delgado. 9 more on the grid. Icaro Piccolo, Hector Alvarez, Angel Ledesma, Andy Ray Miller, Jose Correa, Romain Rateau out of Guadalupe, and then the final 3 that did not set a lap time: Juan Blainette, Scott Kimbrough, and Mike Braun. The Whiplash SimCams race details here briefly before we go green-blue. Here's a look at them. The 20-minute sprint race, 40-minute feature. Of course, we'll have an invert of the top 8 in between these two races. That is an overall invert, not a class invert, so keep that in mind. It could be Pro-Am drivers that start on pole for the feature. We've seen that plenty of times already this season. 6 setup race, 45% fuel. It's all the same as usual. Blue, how anxious are we for turn 1?
It's either going to be a mess or it's going to be clean. I've seen a lot of wreckage coming down to turn 1. And you know, it's an American circuit. It depends on if they're going to channel their, you know, enter NASCAR maybe. Get muscle some people out of the way like we've seen recently, especially during the sprint.
Let's see. This is going to be an electric start down the hill into turn number 1. Anything can happen. Keep your eyes peeled and be ready. Here we go, the final round of the North American Racing League for season number 9 of GT3 Racing is green from Watkins Glen, New York. We are racing down to the 90. And already there's blocking in the back. Ricardo Rico into the wall. We'll catch up with replays after. Rico's down and out in turn 1. Roman Pascucci, he's slow around the opening of the S's. Into the grass now goes the 23 car. Problems for Pascucci. The field now works onto the backstretch. It seems like it was only those couple of issues for those few drivers. Andy Ray Miller, Ricardo Rico, Roman Pascucci, the 3 with problems on lap 1 so far.
But it isn't over yet. There's a lot more passing opportunities to come. We saw a few side-by-side coming into bus stop back there. We got Carousel coming through here. And then heavy braking zone coming up right here.
Through the laces into the boot for the first lap. Rubilar off the racetrack. He's been promoted to 2nd place. He might lose that. Oh, no! Rubilar and Filippa into turn number 6, or 7, rather. And Felipe, the 71, has got to be destroyed. He is.
Yeah,
The rear of that
front
car is
left
junk.
The rear is gone. The front left looks gone. That's rough. I wouldn't be surprised to see race control take a look at that one.
I'll tell you what, this race is not disappointing. We're not even a lap in, and we might have the most significant drama of the entire season, and it's only in the 8-car Pro class. Let's watch the rest of lap 1, maybe even some of lap 2 here. I want to pick the right time to go back and get the replay, but believe you me, we certainly will be getting replays of lap 1 this evening. Here we go, lap 1 complete. Nicholas Mateo across the stripe. Oh boy, buckle up.
Following the trend we've seen recently in the sprint, where the drivers get super aggressive during the sprint, they chill out a lot coming into the feature. And I mean, they're all fighting for it. They all want the positions. You know, got to get into the top 8 for the invert and the points.
It's hard to say right now whether or not Rubilar has got damage, but that was pretty significant contact for him not to. And now Ralph Benitez moves into 3rd place right behind him, goes by his teammate Resende. And certainly team orders are going to be on the menu here between these two. We've already seen that amongst a couple of these teams already this season. So I think certainly Resende is going to be trying to help Benitez every step of the way that he can. Battle in Pro-Am, look at this lighting up. Thiago Moya still leading. He is now over Nick DePaula and then Noah Marone in 3rd. Las Diaz and Miguel Colon, the back end of your top 5 here in Pro-Am. We'll let this lap go through, I think, and then get back to the replays there of lap 1. It's always so difficult, especially in the sprint race. There's just not much time to do it.
I would almost say just save them till after, because we always got something going on, but...
So Dino Felipe in the pit lane, he has had to tow to the pits. That is likely terminal, not just for this race, but for this season for Dino. He will get a fast repair and he'll get back out, but I mean, 26th position, already just about a lap down at this point. He's in turn 1 now. The leaders are in turn number 11, so not far behind at all. Certainly, I think Dino's got the ability to keep himself on the lead lap at this point, but boy, it is going to be a stressful evening for him. Let's go back. See if we can get... Yeah, here we go. This is the initial start. So I want to see what happened to Ricardo Rico. Because he is another one that could have played spoiler in all of this, and he ends up out early. So that is that Mercedes, the outside of row 1, the blue and white Mercedes, P1 docks on the side of his car. Let's see what happens down in turn 1. The start looked clean. Does he just get
really
grass?
clean. Got into turn 1
Oh,
yeah,
wow. He got hit.
Looks like there was just a bit of a spook, and then couldn't go to the right, and then tried to go to the left, and it took him out.
Was that Pascucci that was right behind him?
I think it was.
I'm trying to see if I can get a number here really quickly instead of doing the hot switch. It absolutely is Pascucci in the 23. So that is Roman Pascucci making contact with Ricardo Rico there in turn 1. Then he gets into Rubilar there on exit. That explains why Roman pulled off. He's got left front damage. That car simply did not want to turn. So that explains that part. Let's catch up there then on Andy Ray Miller. He went off in the S's as well, and it seems like his race came to a quick close as well. To keep things moving, let's find Dino here. He's got a good run through the bus stop. Let's just ride on board here initially and see what happens.
When we were looking at it live, when we saw it, it looked like just a case of cars getting into each other. But you never truly know. It's a really good run. Car's off. Tries to pinch. And just...
That in-car didn't show much, did it?
No, not at all. I think it's just a matter of space. They didn't quite leave each other enough space, or as much space as he felt was needed, and, well, one car went around.
Let's see what happens here. So Rubilar off the racetrack there out of 6, and then into 7. Oh, boy.
Oh. They came into each other's...
Yeah, I mean, Rubilar is trying to get back across the racetrack to get the angle into 7. At the same time, it looked like Dino flinched over to the right a little bit, which makes me wonder, was there netcode to start that? Let's slow it down here. I mean, Dino definitely came to the right slightly as Rublar coming to the left slightly. That is a really tricky spot for race control to be in.
Yeah, no, my own personal experience, I would net this as probably just a racing incident. Maybe a warning would go out, but I don't think it's getting past that.
I mean, frankly, obviously, race control will make the call they feel they need to. If I was in that position right now, I'd say, you know what? Nothing is going to make both of you guys happy. Racing incident. I mean,
exactly.
Nothing is going to make them both happy. And
they both just came into each other. I mean, Felipe was turning in too early. It was like he almost trying to squeeze, and I don't know what's the Mercedes supposed to do there.
That is really, really tough. Moving on, 13 minutes to go already here in our sprint race. Mateo is on to lap 5 of an expected 12, and he is quickly rocketing away from Nicholas Rubelar. Now, the part where this gets interesting is Juan Blainat. There he is. He is currently 17th overall. That puts him 5th in pro class. Now, you might traditionally think, well, if he's 5th in pro class, he'll earn 5th place points to, Benitez's 3rd and Rubelar's 2nd, but that's not how this works, all right? These guys earn points separately of classes, if that makes sense. So, I guess the better way to say it is they earn points together. They are scored as an overall field, okay? 1st, 2nd, 3rd, overall, whatever. The actual points per race is not broken down into class. They are given their points as an overall field and then broken into class categorizations, if you will, if that makes sense. So you get your score, then you get broken off into your classes, and then you can kind of see how you rank versus each driver in your class. So Juan Blainat might be 5th in class right now, but he is still earning 17th place points. That's why we say it's so imminent, so important for him to work up through as much of this field as possible. He's still got 9 cars to go just to get to the invert.
9 cars, 11 minutes. I'm just saying, it's not unheard of.
He does have some front-end damage, though. You can see that Aston Martin, the left side of that bumper and grille is just punched in. He's been in the back of somebody, I would imagine. Possibly even Andy Ray Miller. That might be what we saw the end of there at the start. Now, Ricardo Rico is back on the racetrack. That is Roman Pascucci. There is Rico. So he's back on the track after a fast repair. And we just had a pass for the lead in Pro-Am. Nick DePaula has just passed Thiago Moya.
All going to depend on this run coming out of turn 1 through the S's. Huge slipstream opportunity here for Moya. But do we see the ballsy overtake coming into the bus stop?
Here we go, into the bus stop. Nick DePaula's leading this Pro-Am category. Thiago Moya hot on his heels. You see Noel Marone, champion to be, right behind. And then Blas Diaz and Miguel Colon. A line of 5 Pro-Am drivers here, all together. And your top 12 in Pro-Am actually are all nose to tail in some regard. Then you get back to Juan Blainat, who splits up 12th and 13th in this class. So I would think for Juan, you want it to be all Pro-Ams ahead of you, but at the same time, that's also going to be slightly insulting that you couldn't pass them if you can't pass them. But I would imagine a pro driver wants to have to battle Pro-Ams if he can versus pros.
I mean, there's the pace difference to think about, but then you also realize he's losing pace to the top 8 here. So he either needs to step on it right now and just get past these Pro-Ams who, even though they're, in quotes, in a different class, are still able to fight him. Or he just sit here until it's time for the sprint to finish and go into the future, a bit further back, but with time, a lot more time to make up.
And the other side of this championship is, typically we're talking about these guys being able to rely on a drop race. Well, that's not an option tonight. This race cannot be dropped. This race will affect the scores directly, no matter what. So Juan Blainat cannot afford to just chalk it up to, well, I'll use my drop for this. That's not how this works. He has got to make the best of this score tonight to try and win this championship. He comes in as the points leader I'm not so sure he's going to leave this sprint race as the points leader, though, especially if he stays back here at about 17th. He is looking for 16th, though, on Hector Alvarez, and he will get that spot away, commandingly so. It's still a long road to hoe right now. I mean, a very long ways up to the rest of the pro field. He is, I mean, obviously one spot closer to the invert, but that's about 5 seconds between he and Blas Diaz right now. That is difficult to just make up in 8.5 minutes. Best battle on the racetrack currently is back here between a couple of teammates, Jose Correa and Angel Ledesma, a couple of Lamborghini drivers. We don't see Lambos too often, but we see a lot more of them this season than we have in seasons past, and that is certainly a welcome sight. We also have not seen many Porsches this season, and you know what we're going to see a lot of here in about a month's time?
We're going to see a lot of Porsches.
Yes, we will. Battle now between Blanat and those other drivers' teammate. One of the TPRT 2Pi Racing Team cars. That is Jose Ramirez getting passed up. So we just worked by Alvarez, now Ramirez, both from the same team. But he has still got a long ways to go. You see Winstone in the distance, then Correa and Ledesma. So Juan Blanat, kind of the talk of the town right now. Can he get back up there and get some of these points positions back? It's going to be tough. Meanwhile, out front, Nicholas Mateo out to lunch in the best of ways. It's like a Sunday drive for him. He is just cruising away to a sprint race victory once again, and this would be, I believe, his third race win. Yeah, so we keep track of race wins with sprints and features weighted the same. They're both just one, a tally in the column, and he has got 2 so far, Nicholas Mateo. So this would be his third if he can grab it. Meanwhile, for Nick DePaula, who currently leads in Pro-Am, as far as I can tell, this would be his first.
And I wonder if he's realized that yet. With, about 6 minutes left in this race. Does he realize this would be his win? Maybe. If he doesn't, then when is he going to realize it? And is it going to weigh him down more? Is it going to pressure him to? Because the trick when you do realize it is to unrealize it.
Yeah, try not to realize it, and if unfortunately you have, do everything you can to erase that from your mind. Forget about it. In one ear, out the other. Let it be a passing thought and just focus up on that car ahead. And you know what? It's actually good that these Pro-Am guys have stuck with the back end of the pro field for that exact reason. They don't have to look very far to have inspiration to keep on going. I don't know about you, Blue, but anytime I'm in the virtual race car, I like to have a car to chase. Now, I will say, when it comes to the last lap, I don't. I would like to be first. But every other lap, I like to have a car to chase. It makes me feel like I drive better. I've got a reference point. I've got somebody to visually see when he's hitting the brakes, kind of know how much farther I need to drive in, or if I need to lay back, or whatever. So I like having that reference directly ahead of me and driving off the car in front. Is it the right way? Maybe not. But I do think having a car in front of you for reference, having a rabbit to, I guess, chase is comforting in some ways.
Well, during Lewis Hamilton's championship run over in Formula One, his method was to actually envision himself ahead of him, so he would keep pushing the car. So I wouldn't say you have the wrong idea. Yeah, it's a fitting idea. Now, my personal reference is the relative and the cars behind me, because, well, they're always behind me. Obviously, I'm just the best racer. I could be any one of these guys.
Absolutely no sarcasm detected.
No, not at all. No sarcasm.
Well, you're watching the beginning of your Pro-Am field here, led by Nick DePaula, and it is a slew of cars all in line, about 9 of them now. You notice that number has come down a bit. Lucas Souza has been passed up by Juan Blanat, so Juan is now up to 14th. That puts the Aerokinetics Mercedes back into 15th. That is Souza. And we are inside now of 5 minutes to go for Juan Blanat to try to get through this field. So if we go on board with him here, this is going to be effectively, it looks like, 3 laps to go. He's got 3 laps to go from 14th to 8th.
And if he manages this, I'm just gonna say it now. Immediate driver of the day recommendation. No matter what happens in the feature race, if he manages this.
That's a big if he can get up into
it's a big
the
if.
invert. Yeah, I agree. If he can get there.
Now, I do want to mention something I just noticed looking at his car's revs here. He didn't get into 6th down the main straight, and I have to wonder how much time that's losing him. Or was it maybe just an option
though?
considering that the bus stop was so close? I think we have to stay on board for another lap because it looked like he didn't get into 6th there. I might have missed it. It might have been very, very brief.
And I wonder if others actually are, because these guys are on fixed setups, and they do have to have, different gear stacks. And so I wonder if this fixed setup just has a taller gear stack for Le Mans, for example, or even Nürburgring with the Dottinger Hove. I mean, that's a long straightaway. You need a lot of gear. So is that actually hurting him, or is that just the setup these guys are on in order to be a fixed setup league? Is it just that tall of a gear stack? I'm not sure.
I mean, it could just be the damage, as we noticed earlier. On the left side of that car, the front of the car has a bit of damage. It could be just a bit of aero damage doing its work through the S's.
We'll have this reference of Nicholas Matteo to go off of as he rips down the back straightaway here in just a moment. He's in 5th, yeah, through the S's. So he has pulled it pretty soon, but is he going to stay in 5th all the way to the bus stop? And there's Dino up ahead.
Any moment now should be.
He's staying in 5th. Up to about 6,900. And that's a good reference. We can go back to Juan Blanat and see how many revs he's turning by the time he gets down to the bus stop. He's in the draft, so theoretically he should crack 7K. No, he's at the top of the gear. I heard the limiter kick in.
You hear it screaming. I mean, it must just be not enough time to switch it. And I think that might just be a bit of a punishment for driving the fixed setup. But you remember, everyone's on the fixed setup. So is it really much of a punishment? No.
Ooh, Delgado. He got real tight there through turn 6. You can tell he lost the nose of that Corvette. That might be the final spot that Blanat can reasonably grab himself. See the gap between them now. Not a car length as they head down to turn number 8. This might be the final spot that Blanat can grab. He's going to go for it in turn 8 to the inside. He backs out. Ooh, that was wise of him to do. I don't think Ricardo wanted to give that spot up.
Just now.
And look at that. Dino Filippa has gone 1 lap down to Nicholas Matteo. That is surprising.
I mean, I think Matteo being late to the season as we get the white flag here, I think Matteo would be, just from what I've seen so far, and of course I haven't been here all season, I don't know all the stories, I've only been here since Suzuka, but I think Matteo would be a very, very strong contender for a championship. And since he's not getting it this season, I'm going to have my eye on him next season.
Yeah, should all these guys return, certainly Nicholas Matteo has got our attention. And we'll be talking about Porsche Cup here in just a few moments once this race is over. Meanwhile, for 3rd place, Jackson Rosende, you have to imagine he's going to stay in line behind his teammate Ralph Benitez, make sure Ralph's got all the points he can. And I certainly think Benitez will be our points leader going into the feature race this evening, but by how much? Blanat is on the back bumper of Delgado here. Again, this might be the final spot he can grab. This would be for 13th. Hey, points are points! To the inside of turn 6 he goes. Heavy on the brakes. Can't get there that time. It'll have to wait until a later point in the lap, and really that might have been his best passing zone remaining. Meanwhile, here goes Matteo. He's in turn 8. These guys are quickly going to put the sprint race behind them this evening. De Paula has got company in the form of Thiago Moya not too far back. And Blanat, turn 8, can't do anything. So, our race leader, Nicholas Matteo, here he goes out of turn number 11. He will earn himself a 3rd victory here in season number 9 as he does it off of the safer barrier there out of turn 11. Nick De Paula will grab himself one. And then what spot can Juan Blanat get to? There's De Paula across the line to win. And Pro-Am, here is Blanat. It's not going to be any better. 13th will not happen for Blanat. It'll be 14th for the driver of the 89 that was the points leader coming into this race.
And you know, I gotta say something. When Mateo crossed the line, I don't know if you saw the graphic. That was the fastest lap of the race for Mateo on the last lap. I mean, he's just flexing on them. I hate to say it, but 3-second gap back. I mean, he knows his pace. He knows his pace, and it's showing.
I did notice that. I'm glad you mentioned it. As there's Romain Rateau with no front bumper at the end of this race. He will be followed by Joaquin Melo, who is still back here in turn number 8. We'll follow Melo to the start-finish line here. It looks like maybe even Ricardo Rico in a couple of moments. Still yet to finish this race up. Ricardo did fall one lap down to our race leaders, Pascucci and Andy Reid Miller. They're the only two that did not get back on the racetrack. So there goes Joaquin Melo into the pit lane. Never mind, he will finish the race. As Ricardo Rico comes through turns 10 and 11 to cap off this sprint race. I'm trying to stall until he can get there so we can take a look at what I'm excited to get to this evening. And we'll get a points report here shortly from Scott Reister. But in the meantime, we can take a look, Blue, at the schedules for the Pro-Am season, not Pro-Am, the Porsche Cup season coming up beginning next month, actually, June 25th. Are we ready to see it? I know we've talked about it, but are we ready to see it?
I'm ready to see it.
We have got it loaded and ready to go. We'll start with Pro, since we're in the Pro event this evening, and we'll be headed to Germany, June 25th, Hockenheimring, to kick us off. That was the season opener for Season 1 of Porsche Cup Racing, way back in, I believe, 2021, maybe 22. I mean, it's been a while. It's been a number of years at this point. We'll be headed back to the Hockenheimring for round 1 of both Pro and Pro-Am. Or, I guess, Am, rather. But there you see, Hockenheimring, then Sebring. That's going to be a lot of fun. Mid-July, if we keep this realistic sim date, which I love so much, Scott, if we keep it, that's going to be a hot race, unless it's run maybe in the morning or under the lights at night. Le Mans will also potentially be a bit warm in the end of July there. Long Beach should be fun. I heard you say rain, I think. No, we will not see rain in any of these races. I can confirm that. But Long Beach there at round 4 on August the 13th. Then Monza. How about Monza on the Grand Prix course? Not the combined course, the Grand Prix course. There on August 27th. Then Daytona, Phillip Island, and Interlagos to cap off the final 3 races. So these are the Pro dates. We'll flip over to the Am dates. They'll kick things off on July 2nd at Hockenheimring. They'll have about a month off until Sebring on August the 6th, and then another month off or so until Le Mans on September 3rd, but then it's right back to Long Beach for them, back-to-back races, and then they have a couple of weeks until October 1st at Monza, and then they stay pretty active. The 15th and the 22nd of October will be soon to follow, and they will cap off their season at Interlagos on November 5th. Now, I have just received a points update, and boy, I really thought Nicholas Rubelar would have made up more ground on at least Blanat, but he really didn't. I can give you a verbal points update. Ralph Benitez is now at 587. He is your points leader. That puts Juan Blanat in second at 578. So it's a 9-point difference that Blanat has to make up. That's effectively about 9 positions. Not exactly, since there are a couple of bonuses these guys can get. I believe for 0x, I don't think either one of them are going to have that. Maybe Ralph can, but again, so we'll say about 9 positions on the racetrack between Ralph Benitez and Nicholas Rubelar. Or sorry, Juan Blanat. Rubelar is in third, another 6 back, so 15 total behind Benitez. And then Jackson Resende is effectively out at this point, and it looks like Dino Filippa may be as well. So it's 3 cars, a gap of 9, and then a gap of 15 from first to second, and then first to third. Did you get all that?
I got it all. I got it all. This is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be quite the season closer. This is gonna be a season closer. This is gonna, dare I say it, I would almost maybe just compare it to 2021 Abu Dhabi from Formula One. I don't know. And it's going to be interesting.
I see a question or two about how did Juan end up in that spot? He had connection difficulties. he lost connection during qualifying and did not get back in time to get a lap in. So he had to start from the tail end of the field, 27th of 29, and he was able to get up to 15th, right, or 14th. I mean, that's still pretty stout. He climbed through half the field that was ahead of him, but when it comes to the championship, he just needed to get a bit more.
And so close. That's still really impressive, though. That's about half the field that he cleared in about 20 minutes or so. So that's a lot of work to put up, if you ask me. And it's going to help him here in this feature. 40 minutes of racing for him.
And boy, there are some interesting feelings in the league Discord. I'll leave it at that. But certainly, I think everybody's feeling the tension and the pressure of this championship round, and I certainly understand that. But a quick look at what's upcoming for us here at Pit.TV before we go feature racing for us this evening at Watkins Glen. Here is a look at the next 3 broadcasts on Pit.TV. Monday, we're actually on. This is the final broadcast of May, and I cannot believe that I'm saying that. It feels like we should still be in February, but here we are.
Oh, same.
Yeah, I turned 26 exactly 3 months ago today, and that's also a weird thought. I'm just rocketing towards 30, and I don't like it. But anyways, Pocono Raceway for the NORL Retro Cup Series on June the 1st, and followed straight up by another amazing oval race. I'm excited for both of these. We've got 03 Cup cars at Pocono, followed by ARCA cars at Iowa, and these just feel like amazing combinations. Should be a lot of fun on Monday and Tuesday. And then some dirt racing back in our mix. We unfortunately couldn't go racing last night with the Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series, but we have the Regal Promotions 305 Nationals on Wednesday evening, June the 3rd. That will be at Federated Auto Parts Raceway I-55 in Peevely, Missouri. So some great races coming up. If you noticed recently, we have upped our game just a little bit over on TikTok. We're going to try and keep doing that some more. So if you have not followed us yet, that's the social media platform. If you have not followed us on any of them yet, start with TikTok. We have a pretty good one out there from earlier today, and I'd love for you guys to get a look at it. But we have got cars headed to the grid. Shall we take a look at how these drivers will start the feature race here at Watkins Glen? We didn't really talk too much about the invert because we wanted to see if Juan could get there, but he didn't. And as a result, you can see a couple of Argentinians have flipped the order. It was Noel. I can't talk right now. It was Noel Marone. There we go. Starting ahead of Blas Diaz in the feature, the sprint race. Flip that. Blas Diaz has now got the spot over Noel here on the grid for the feature. So it'll be Blas Diaz leading us to the green, Noel Marone from second place. From third, I'll catch my breath there for a second, Tiago Moya in the number 93. He'll be followed by Nick DePaula, who just won in Pro-Am for the very first time moments ago. Starting from 5th place, it'll be Jackson Rosende, now out of the championship fold. Ralph Benitez, though, new points leader, will start from 6th. 7th and 8th, Nicholas Rubillard trying to make up 15 points in this race. Can he do it? As he'll start alongside fellow Nicholas, that'll be Mateo there in the 8th spot. The first row outside of the invert, Miguel Colon and Jacob Stofko, top 10 in the sprint. They'll start top 10 in the feature. Followed up by 11 to 12th, that'll be Fabio Zamperlini in the Brazilian Lamborghini, alongside Diego Era, I believe the only McLaren in the field. Starting 13th, Ricardo Delgado, one of the, if not the only, Chevrolet Corvette here this evening, alongside Juan Blanat, the pro seeing red, trying to get back through the field and salvage this championship. Starting 15th, Lucas Souza alongside Jose Ramirez, followed up by Hector Alvarez, Angel Ledesma, Chris Winstone, and Jose Correa to cap off your top 20. 9 more on the grid this evening. Scott Kimbrough, Icaro Piccolo there in 22nd. Mike Braun and Romain Rateau in row number 12. Row number 13 gives us Joaquin Melo and Dino Filippa. And a little farther back, your final 3, Ricardo Rico, Roman Pascucci, and Andy Ray Miller. Weather conditions have changed slightly, not by much. There you see, Blue. It's still, I think, moderately warm. But this feels pretty appropriate for late May in New York, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. You know, it's hotter there than it's warmer. It's warmer here where I am over here on the West Coast than it is over there. Surprisingly, even though I believe I'm more north than this track, but you know, to each their own. To each their own.
I'm curious now. I'll have to fire up AccuWeather real quick on my phone and see what we're looking like here in North Carolina currently. We are past sunset, and it's still 81 degrees, real feel and ambient. It has been disgusting since the rains came through over Coca-Cola 600 weekend this past Memorial Day weekend. A lot of rain, and it felt great, honestly. The weather really did feel good, despite the rain impacting the races at Charlotte, but since then, it's been disgusting. Thankfully, these guys don't have to worry about any of that. No rain in the forecast here this evening. Sunny skies in virtual New York, and this could be the most important, the most pivotal race of the entire season. And so we'll turn the music down just a little bit sooner than usual. We'll take a moment to reflect on what has been GT3 season number 9 of the North American Racing League. The, I guess, 11th season of racing total, or is it 12th? I don't know, I'm losing count. We're about to add a 4th Porsche Cup season this summer, but to close out this chapter of GT3 racing, thanks so much for being here, and here we go, down to the final green flag of GT3 action here in Season 9. Oh, this is going to be a crazy run down to Turn 1, I can already see it. Mateo around the outside. He's in the back bumper now of DePaula. There goes Ricardo Delgado and one of the two Pi Lamborghinis. Multiple cars around in turn 1. The bulk of the field keeps moving. Marone swerving to build some heat in the tires. That's Colon on the right side of the racetrack. Driver's right. Zamperlini up the inside. He backs out. No, he's going to get smashed into the outside wall. Fabio Zamperlini is out of the season finale. It has been feast or famine. It doesn't matter who you are in the field here at Watkins Glen. There was one driver who started this race in the pit lane. That was Chris Winstone. What a wise decision that looks to have been.
Smart race. Or smart decision right there for Chris Winstone. I like that choice.
Look at this blue Ralph Benitez, the 43, the points leader. He's got no front bumper. He's been caught up in all this melee on lap 1.
That's gonna do damage to the points. It's only 9 points. I mean,
Rubelar muscling through to the lead. He's got the pro lead now to turn number 9. Mateo over his right shoulder there, trying to keep Resende and Mateo in the mirror. This could be everything in this championship.
But you gotta think though, Mateo still has a fight here, just right behind him, just waiting on him.
Dino has crashed again, this time out of turn 9. Lap 1 in the books. Oh, it's getting crazier and crazier by the ever moment here at Watkins Glen. There they go through turn 1, lap 2. Everybody catch your breath. I think we've got a moment to do so.
I think we got just a little bit here to reflect on the first lap of this feature race. Usually they chill out during this feature race. I was wrong to say it about this race. I said it earlier. I think I might have jinxed it just a little bit. Commentator's curse, if you will.
Well, the overall lead is currently Diaz, followed by Moya and Marone. Of course, the ticker splits these drivers into their respective driver classes. And here you'll find Rubelar, Mateo, and Resende in line. So as this lap is completed this next time by, we'll take this opportunity to go back and see what happened on lap 1. There's a lot to digest. Meanwhile, Juan Blanat is back here still in 13th spot. He has not made up much ground at all. And Ralph Benitez has not hit the pit lane yet. He is still nursing that damage. He may not win this championship after all.
It was looking really, really strong for him. I think he got caught up in the contact in lap 1, and I think that's what got him that front bumper damage. And I think I know what his plan is. I think he's going to nurse it until he gets that call from the crew that he can go the rest of the race on fuel. If he comes in at that moment, that he's going to go in, he's going to repair it, and he's just going to run it. That's all that he can do.
He's in a lose-lose situation. No matter what he does, he's going to lose time. And You just have to try and, figure out which is the better of the two options. It's the lesser of two evils, and that's just not a fun decision to try and make. But let's go back and see. I know we have the battle for the lead. I'll try to keep this as quick as I can on the replay. Bear with me to try and get, I think this is the beginning of lap 1. No, here we go. I found it. So, Rubelar, I guess let me actually get to the start of the race. Here's the run down the front stretch. Rubelar from about 7th on the grid. He's obviously looking to try and make spots up. There was that red Mustang. That was Jacob Stofko, I believe. A little bit erratic at the line. And the leaders got through turn 1 okay. Who was it back here? Pascucci and another. The 174. That looks like Piccolo. Along with, it looks like Joaquin Melo, if memory serves me correct. So let's go back a little bit farther here. Here's the run into the corner. Felipe drove over on one of the Lamborghinis, and then you see what happened back there with Pascucci. One more look at turn 1. There's a lot to go through. Dino jumped the start. He went by Romain Rateau, and then he's got 3 two-pie Lamborghinis here. Pruitt fades over into 1. And then here off the corner, problems for Delgado.
Quick decision making to get out of that without damage right there.
Yeah, I give him props there off of turn 1. That was a rough spot to be in, and he chose the right way to go. Here is Ricardo Delgado through turn 1. He's racing with Lucas Souza. After this, we'll take a look at what happened to Benitez. It may be related, actually. Yes, it is. Delgado, I think, just lost it, and Benitez barely even clipped him, it felt like. So for the championship lead, potentially, here's Benitez.
Bad launch off the line.
Delgado just got in deep. Wow. I think Delgado just got in deep. Hooked it. Man, hang on. Okay, let's back this up. Let's back this up. I don't like rewinding usually, but here's the run to the green, okay? They check up here for the pace car, and these guys have higher roll speed because they left a gap. And the leader is to start the race. That's Blas Diaz. But a lot of guys here just did not respect that, and they take the momentum to either side of the racetrack. And there you see, that's what ends up getting Benitez. He was trying to play the start correctly. He is that Mercedes going backwards here in the middle of the 4 wide now. And, I mean, I get it. Everybody's trying to take advantage of the start, but it seems like everybody just threw iRacing start rules out the window. And because of that, Benitez is down to like 12th, 13th back here by turn 1 because he's just trying to take it easy. Delgado slides up the racetrack on rear brake, and that might be Benitez's championship hopes completely dashed in one corner. We'll get back to live picture here. Hopefully that's a decent enough rundown. But that's what I seen. I mean, what say you from what we just watched?
It just looked like turn 1 Watkins to me. I mean, it's such a strange corner because you know how much speed you could take through there. There's a lot of runoff, a lot of which you could use as long as you stay on the curve. You could use it, and even out there, I mean, it's maybe a little dusty, but you still gain just enough time from it. It is a 1x, however. So take that how you will. I do think we just saw Benitez championship lead just go. But I will say it brings Blaney back into the picture.
It does.
So Blaney was probably more than happy to see his car with the front damage and reel him back to him. He's more than happy to see that, but that's a sucky way to lose it, you know.
Meanwhile, this is a fantastic battle for second overall. Nicholas Mateo just broke the ankles of Thiago Moya into turn 6 and made the pass. Now, Nicholas Rubelar has a chance to follow suit and do the same. Benitez, by the way, is down into 22nd overall, and I hope that he's not relying on points to be earned by class, because he is 5th in class, and I really hope he's not seeing that and thinking, yeah, I'm okay, because he's not. He's 22nd, and boy, this could be game over for him. Now, Blanat is in 11th. He would make enough points over Benitez to get that spot back, but let's go back and recall the gaps coming into this feature race, Blue. It was 9 from Benitez to Blanat. Sure, Blanat's making that up currently. It was only 6 from Blanat to Rubelar, and that is what the battle effectively now is. Rubelar has more than 6 spots between himself and Blanat, 7 to be exact. Is Rubelar currently in the championship lead?
We're going to see that here soon. You know, I'm just going to say it. 5 seconds, 31 minutes. 5-second gap, 31 minutes to get it done.
Although here goes Rubelar to the inside of Moya down the backstretch, and there's one more Pro-Am ahead of them. So that's another spot that I would say, you know, we would expect Rubelar to be able to make up. Whether or not he does so is a different story. But I think it's fair to say that he is able to get there and pass Blas Diaz at some point in the remaining 30.5 minutes here. So that is only going to put this farther out of reach for Blanat, who's currently battling with Diego Era there in the McLaren. There is that pink Aston Martin trying to do so. He would then come upon Jacob Stofko and more, as here we go, side by side. Oh, some doors given out. Diaz comes back at Mateo. This might not be done.
Not yet. No, I was saying it earlier. Diaz looks good for pro, and I mean, he's fine with Mateo, fastest pro we've seen all day.
And then you also see Maron and Moya battling back here. That is holding up Rosende now. So some great battles starting to unfold as we get into the second quarter, if you will, of this feature race. Blas Diaz now into second. Rubelar trying to make up that gap from third. Now, Scott Reister has graciously graced my DMs, if you will, letting me know that at the time that Rubelar was, I believe, in 4th overall, that it was a 1-point gap, and that Rubelar, I believe, would have had it at that point in time. He can correct me if I'm wrong. He's free to do so. But I believe it was 1-point gap favoring Rubelar. Rubelar has now made an extra spot up. I believe it's now a 2-point gap currently. It's going to be close. He's going to be doing a lot of math all the way down to the end of this race, especially as Juan Blanat looks to make up more spots. Here's one into the bus stop. He backs out.
Smart move. Smart move. I've seen it go wrong there. I've had it go wrong there. I won my race because of people wrecking there. 3 wide was my personal experience there. Smart move to back out. you got 30 minutes or so to go. I mean, you do got a bit of time. Do you got to step on it? Absolutely. But do you got time? Yes, you do.
And this is some tough competition. I mean, we talk about some of these Pro-Am guys potentially facing promotion into Pro. I don't know how Scott's going to treat that, because this is kind of now a proper, true Pro category with like 10,000, 11,000 I ratings. So I'm not sure if they will get promoted or not. But I can say that this crop of Pro-Am guys at the very top of the field is very, very close on pace when it comes to fixed setup racing like this. I think if they had their teams build setups all week or, you know, for a month on end, that might be a different story. But when it comes down to just fixed setup racing, the same equipment, these Pro-Am guys, they are so close.
They know what they're doing.
My point that I'm illustrating, I guess, is that this is going to be really difficult battling for Juan the rest of the way. It's not going to be easy at any stage of this operation trying to move up through the field. That said, Rubelar can only pass 2 more cars. Realistically 1, because Mateo, I think, is too fast. So he can get Blas Diaz. That's the only bit that he can gain still in this race. Blanat still has the world of opportunity ahead. Now he's got the draft alongside Era here into the bus stop. I think he's got it this time. No! Contact, and he's off! He just kept it on, but here comes Alvarez.
He's getting a little desperate here. You can see it. You can see it in the way he's driving. He drove it into there. He flashed into the lights. Not happy with that. Not at all, and I don't blame him. I wouldn't be happy either.
It's so difficult, Blue, because, you know, we talk about wanting to be safe, wanting to be calculated, always make the right moves. Sometimes, when you're battling for a championship and you're getting desperate, at this point in time, I think it's fair to say that he is, you have to stop thinking about whether or not it's the right move. If you see a move, take it. At some points. I'm not saying right now is that time to dive bomb Diego, but I am saying you might have to start trying. Meanwhile, Nicholas Rubelar still hot on the heels of Blas Diaz, and you have to wonder how much he knows of this point situation. And of course, he started this season racing for Drago Racing. Never thought when this season began that he would finish this season in a different outfit. That's got to be weighing on him.
No, absolutely. And I mean, you know, and you got to wonder if he's thinking about it. He's thinking, man, if we just stay together, we'd have a championship on our hands. And I myself very recently was expelled from my own team, so there's just that like realization, because I know they're doing some upcoming races that I'm doing, and there's that realization of we could end up in the same split, we could end up in the same race, and am I gonna rub it in their face on who they left? Am I gonna be able to? Am I working on doing that? Am I gonna show if we just stuck it, we would have been fine? I mean, that's going through my mind. So I take it a lot less seriously than these guys, so I can only imagine what's going through theirs.
And as they're thinking about it all, passes in tandem. Rubelar makes up a spot passing Blas Diaz. Blanat makes up a spot passing Diego Era. Now the problem, of course, for Rubelar is he really can't go any farther. He's second overall. The only guard he can pass is Nicolas Mateo, and that I don't think is going to happen tonight.
Not quite.
Meanwhile,
I don't know, though.
he
He might have him.
Well, I think it would take a really supreme pit strategy, and that's asking a lot here. But Blanat is already on the heels of Jacob Stofko. I believe he would only need to get to 8th currently to tie the standings. I think. Maybe to 7th. And if they tie, I've been informed, the tiebreaker currently goes to Juan Blanat. So that's the race he's now running. He does not have to get all these spots, just a couple more. As you see, Era and Alvarez have a moment there through turn 1. Pass complete for Alvarez. So back to Blanat.
The inside 6th gear. There we go. There's another pass done.
Now that could have also been a bit of fuel saving there for Blanat, but he gets by Stofko with relative ease as Alvarez and Era continue to battle back here for 11th. But yes, Juan Blanat, I believe, now just one spot out of tying the championship lead with Nicholas Rubelar. Boy, oh boy. And I think the real issue now for Juan, he's got plenty of cars ahead that he can pass, but the gap from him to Miguel Colon, you see it's a relatively open racetrack ahead of him, 2.3 seconds. And this is a very full throttle racetrack. I mean, we talked about it at the Open. You're kind of just maximizing every bit of the racetrack for speed, momentum, trying to just carry as much speed around each corner as you can. I mean, it's technical for that reason, but you're not really going that slow here ever. So you need the draft. You need to be within a second of the car ahead to continue to make up time. We'll see. I'm waiting for the line here so that this graphic right here on the bottom right changes. There we go, to Cologne. So it's now tracking from Blanat to Cologne. That's the gap. Typically, you look to be within about a second, sometimes 1.2 on some tracks, in order to sniff that draft down the straightaway. And certainly you want to be closer if you can. He is making up some time, Blue, but is it enough?
It's just small little bits, bit by bit, and I mean, they do add up. They can absolutely add up, and there can be mistakes, but he's got to get it going.
While
but, we did also
go ahead.
I said we did also see the time go from 2 seconds down to 1.7. So I mean, there's a pace difference between the pro and pro-am still. I mean, it's rough. It's a rough call.
And that's where Juan has to be picture perfect, is really through the bus stop, the carousel, the races, really all of the boot. That's where he can make up his time. But once they exit turn 11 especially, I think you can kind of make up. You can make up a 10th here in the corner. So even if you're losing a 10th on the straightaway, say from 7 to 8, you can make a 10th back up in the corner. Maybe if you're a pro on a pro-am, so you can at least mitigate the gains and losses there. But when we exit turn 11 and it's wide open to turn 1, stop real quick, then wide open all the way around to the bus stop, that's where Juan is going to lose time again. And this lap, he will not be in that range, but we're only about halfway. I think there's plenty of time still for Juan. That does not mean it's a guarantee that he gets back up here and wins this championship. It is going to keep him honest the rest of the evening, that's for sure. Meanwhile, Nicholas Mateo is in some traffic, and while these guys continue on here in this race, I do want to take a look at and thank our partners this season in the North American Racing League, who have done so much for us now for 12 seasons of racing. I'm pretty confident in that number, 12 seasons of racing here on Pit Stop TV. Maradness, JS Consulting, Screw Compressor Service Incorporated, and Rocket Designs. I've been saying these names for a long time now. They stick around with Scott Reister. They believe in Scott Reister. I do too. We all believe in Scott Reister. And Scott Reister we trust. We should mint a coin. Scott, get on it. We should have a coin. I know a series that does that kind of thing. But
I know someone you can contact if you want to do that.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we do that for season 10. I don't know. But regardless, 12 seasons of racing between Porsche Cup and GT3. We're trying to cap off season 9 here of GT3 racing, and just every season that comes around, it gets better and better. And it's thanks to these groups on the left side of your screen. It's thanks to Scott Reister and everybody who helps him out each week, everybody who helps me out each week in the case of Blue Carl and Chris Winstone this season, and Zach Lindgren there for the opening portion of the season before he moved back home to New Mexico. I mean, this has just been a dream of a pairing between North American Racing League and Pit Stop TV all these years now, and I'm so excited to see what is down the road and what is next with Porsche Cup season number 4 Pit Stop. How about this? Juan Blanat to the pit lane. It makes sense that he would take this risk and pit a little bit early.
I mean, he knows it's all or nothing.
And I think as well as he's passing multiple of his teammates in the pit lane, both Dino Filippa and Roman Pascucci, this is an opportunity for him to get his service done quickly and get back on the racetrack and not be in a kerfuffle, if you will. He's going to have a relatively open track, it looks like. There is a group coming up on him currently. So there he goes. He releases. How does the traffic around him look? There goes Ricardo Rico. He's going to have a bunch of open racetrack. That is exactly, I think, what he wants to hit his marks. The draft would be nice, sure, but to hit his marks and be perfect the back end of this race, I think that is what he wants. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
I mean, only time will tell. We'll find out. And I mean, it's every driver's goal to hit their marks. Here we go, though. Last half, like I said, it's all or nothing. And I think that's the mentality that he might be starting to have. It's either I get this championship or I'm in the wall. It's one or the other.
You know, we do field the team in the BRB Racing League on Tuesdays, and I'm not going to lie, a message I sent to those drivers on Tuesday was, bring this race home. If you can, if at all possible, bring this race home at Indianapolis. And the verbiage I used, it's a saying I really like at oval racing, checkers or wreckers. Basically bring home the checkered flag or the trophy or the steering wheel. We didn't win the race, but that's okay. They had a great showing as we see pit stops for most of the Pro-Am field, it looks like. Diaz, Marone, Resende, Stofko, Alvarez, Souza, Delgado, all in.
Here's where the big time is, though. I mean, if Blaney can get around fast enough,
So here's the time in the stop for Diaz. You see more cars filing in. Yes, 14.67, and for Blanat, who is coming down the front stretch now, it was 14.55. He's going to pass most of this riffraff, and he's actually going to release right behind Jackson Resende. That actually worked out kind of nicely for him. I think that effectively picks him up a couple of spots.
How many spots away is he from Rubelar?
Rubelar has not yet pitted, so it's hard to say. Right now, though, it'd be 12 spots. And there is Mateo, Rubelar in the distance.
And I wonder if he's going to come in here. If he comes in here, I wonder if Blanett has him on the pit cycle.
I doubt he's going to get to and pass Rubelar, but he might have just enough ground. Let's see.
To keep himself in this here. Here we go.
Mateo's in, Rubelar is in. And so here's the pit timer. The total lane time for Blanett, about 42.3 seconds. Let's keep that in mind as we watch Rubelar down the pits. And the pit box time he's trying to beat is about 14.5. Mateo took tires. Why?
Oh.
He's still got down and away pretty quick, but he's going to have to bring those tires back to temperature. Quick stop for Rubelar, 14.03. That's at least a bit quicker. I don't know what it's going to do in the grand scheme of things as Blanett has cars to pass, and he doesn't. But he's going to release now about 4 seconds behind Mateo, and Blanett, oh, look at this mess. He's going to pass a couple more, maybe. He's got Cologne over his right shoulder. DePaula there as well. Up the hill, he gets by one, trying to get the other. And he's currently 8th. He's in range right now. This is right where he needs to be.
Just gotta get past these. Just past this pack. Come on.
Oh, contact there into the bus stop. He falls back now behind DePaula. That was close. 14.5 minutes to go. He is right on the edge. 7 spots. He is 9th overall. Rubelar 2nd. Again, the gap is 6 points. It's about 6 positions on the racetrack. I believe he needs to pass DePaula to tie it up. There he goes.
Here it is. Here it is.
Right side. He's going to have the run to turn 8. He should have the spot into the corner, I think. It's going to be close. One Blanett trying to clear. He's ahead, and he is gone. Setting sail away from that Mercedes. But can Miguel Colon get back around Juan Blanett? Does he even care to? And is this enough?
We're gonna find out. I mean, Scott, if you're there, maybe a small update.
I think he's working on it. In the wall there is Cologne. Noticing a lot of these guys are scrubbing the outside wall there out of turn 11 tonight, using that NASCAR safer barrier to their advantage. Hey, until you get told not to, you may as well, right?
Hey. And you know what? I think small amendment needs to be made to this track. If the NASCAR cars can all go out past that strip there, GT3 should be allowed as well. I'm just going to say it.
Wait, on NASCAR changed that this year. They put tire packs on the outside of turn 1 and on the outside of the carousel to mitigate exactly that. So, not the solution I would have gone with, but it's a solution, I suppose. Thankfully, these guys aren't dodging tires every time they exit turn 1 tonight.
It would have been a lot more incidents, I think, today if there was.
Well, you mentioned something earlier with Juan Blanett. If he got to a certain spot, it was an automatic nomination for Driver of the Day. Is it still?
It's still Driver of the Day. It's still a nomination, I think, from either of us, in my opinion at least. I mean, and I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I already know you're gonna.
It's your floor. Go ahead.
I mean, you start from basically last in the championship race. You don't look to have an insane shot at it. You got 27th he started, right? In the sprint? He has 20 minutes to make that up. Cutting through both Pro-Am and Pro drivers. He then, coming into the feature, realizes he still has a shot at this championship. And is now having to just perfectly get between these pro-ams. Not wreck himself, still be aggressive enough to make it through. I mean, it's driver of the day material for me.
And how about this, Blue? Something we've overlooked. Who is third overall? That is Ricardo Rico. He still has to pit again. He already pit once to get a fast repair. He still has to pit one more time. That puts the points squarely in the hands of Juan Buena, I believe, by one singular point to keep it out of a tie. So Rubelar has to pass Mateo, or has to have a problem for Juan Buena. So it sounds like you're nominating the driver of the 89 here for driver of the day, though?
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it.
That's fair. I'm going to go to the other side of this battle, and I will give an honorable mention, I think, to Ralph Benitez. He didn't do anything wrong. Unfortunately for him, he is out of this as far as the championship goes. I mean, he is down at 25th. Maybe he could have pitted earlier. Maybe it would have worked out better for him, but he still would be far down the order right now. He was doomed from lap 1 as soon as everybody, rushed to the start like that and jumped to the start, frankly, I'll just say it. And then Delgado just got a little bit loose on brakes into turn 1, and that car came around, and there was nothing Benitez could have done. Ralph ran a great sprint race, had his team behind him perfectly, and Ricardo now is pitting, by the way, Ricardo Rico. So, again, Ralph Benitez, I think, did everything right. Unfortunately, it's not meant to be for him this evening. So, I'm not going to nominate him. Instead, I gotta give a nod to Nicholas Rubelar. I know he's not likely to catch Nicholas Mateo, but this has been a whirlwind of an evening, and I think it's only fair to nominate these two that are battling here in this heads-up race, because everything has been thrown at them, every which way. Rubelar was down 15 on the grid into this race, and he looks like he just might be only 1 point out of the championship by the time this race is over. Just the comeback and how close things have been for Nicholas, it is legendary how close he has made it here by the end of this season.
And I mean, it's still not up yet. It's still not up yet.
This
I'm
is
just
true.
going to say any car can have an issue. And since we are giving shout-outs, I do want to give a shout-out to Mateo. I mean, wonderful driving for Mateo.
Absolutely.
Like I predicted, putting a huge wrench into this championship. I'm excited to see him here in the Porsche Cups.
Now, on the Pro-Am side, we haven't really talked about it much. Of course, Noel has the championship wrapped up. But Nick DiPaola won the sprint. Now it's Thiago Moya ahead. Who do you have for driver of the day over here?
See, this is the rough part of picking driver of the day. And anytime you ask me to, I have to remember that sometimes I don't look too expressively at both sides of the race. I think, though, I'm going to have to give it to Diaz. Diaz has shown, I mean, Moya's in the lead, don't get me wrong, but Diaz has shown incredible pace in the time that I've been here beside you for NARL. And just alone in this race, I mean, holding the lead for an okay amount of time behind Mateo and fighting Mateo even a little bit for it. I think that's a solid pick for my driver of the day right there.
I don't disagree, and he's got some big company right behind him. Jackson Rosente, Noah Moron, Juan Buena all breathing down his neck. That's going to be hard to contend with to the end. And I'm going to make a sentimental pick for my nomination in Pro-Am, because I think it's going to come down to the pros anyways. I want to go Nick DiPaola, and if I wasn't being sentimental, I would, since he won the sprint race. I know this is kind of falling on its face a little bit here in the feature, but just that was a really unexpected win from him in the sprint, so I wanted to give him that light of day. However, I am going to make a sentimental pick for driver of the day in Pro-Am, and I'm going to give it to our commentator friend Chris Winstone, because he has had an absolutely abysmal couple of seasons. It seems like everything has gone wrong every single week. He chose to start in the pit lane here for the feature, and wouldn't you know it, he's not been in a crash that I can tell here in the feature race tonight. Sure, it's not a glamorous, win or anything. He's 21st right now overall, 16th in class. but he is, I think, going to be a much happier gentleman outside of the race car this evening versus most races this season. And I just want to give Chris some recognition, I think, for the season he has unfortunately had.
You know, we'll find out if it goes, how it goes next season for him, too. If he intends on being here with us.
Well, I think I can announce this. I think, anyways. He'll be joining us for the pro broadcasts, actually. So, it all worked out. He needs a little bit of time out of the sim, actually. He's going to be joining us for the pro Porsche Cup broadcasts. So we're going to move things around a little bit. Blue, it sounds like you're back for AM. And we're going to give Chris a shot to try out the pro side of Porsche Cup before he, I would think, gets back in the car for GT3 Season 10, whenever that should come around. So it'll be an opportunity, I think, certainly, for Chris Winstone to commentate for these pro races in the Porsche Cup season coming up. And I think he's going to have some fun with that. He's becoming a bit more of just an all-around, like, jack of all trades. But I wouldn't say he's a master of none. He's definitely a master of some.
And, you know, I mean, I think it'll be helpful to get an idea of how these pro guys are when they're in the race. Because we talk to them after. But we also only talk to the leaders and the winners.
This is true.
I think I think when somebody up here will be a fun time. I think he'll have fun up here. And I cannot wait to be in the AM. I'm excited to watch those guys down there. And out of all cars, the P-Cup car, I mean, P-Cup's, it's a fun car.
Whoa!
Oh, huge cutting around.
Jackson Resende, big dive. He's going to muscle blast Diaz out of the way. That's good, though, for Juan Blainat. And now Resende moves back over in front of Juan. Juan, don't pick this fight. You've got points right now. Don't pick this fight.
Don't do it. And even better, he knows that there is a race control, and I mean, I think looking at that move from Resende, that's a little.
That was certainly aggressive.
That's maybe a little aggressive, not favorable in a steward's eyes, if you will. Maybe even some points or penalties. Ooh.
Miguel Colon might be having one final misstep here of season number 9. This is racing with Nick DePaula. DePaula has now gone by. Was there contact or not? It's always a great question to ask in the bus stop. No, there wasn't. Yeah, he just got the cadence wrong and ends up going for a slide through the carousel. Grabbed a gear and got back going, though. Props to him for that. Meanwhile, battle for 3rd in class, 4th overall. Juan Blaina and Jackson Resende. I really do wonder if Juan knows the situation. Is he or a teammate listening to the broadcast? He is in a spot right now where he would win this championship. Do not jeopardize it just trying to get this one final spot.
No, it's not worth it. I think, and I don't know, Scott's going back to you, but I think he has it. I think he has it here. He needs to go 3 minutes. Just 3 minutes.
Anything can happen. I'm not trying to jinx anything, but we saw the connection difficulty in qualifying. So,
out of all times, bring it up.
I hope they're all in that SDR camp. I hope they're all crossing their fingers and their toes.
3, 2, 1, and poof.
Cross some limbs, maybe. I don't know.
Well, my feet are... I will say, I always sit with my legs crossed.
There you go.
By my chair. It's maybe a bit of a bad habit, but who knows? Maybe it'll help him.
This is going to be a tense final couple of minutes. We got 2 to go the last time by the stripe. We initially were expected to have 24 laps here in this race, but much like the AM race here at Watkins Glen, it's only going to go 23. By the time we get back to the stripe, it will be white flag, 1 to go for Nicholas Mateo, who's got a 6-second lead.
And I mean, just insane.
I don't want to take anything away, by the way, from Noel Moron. He has done a fantastic job in Pro-Am. He's going to win the championship this evening. We'll be talking to him shortly. He will be our Pro-Am champion. And that is huge. That is really big for him. Again, I don't know if that's going to be a promotion or not, but certainly in the conversation, as there's the white flag for Nicholas Mateo. It has not flown yet in the graphics, because again, the sim was expecting 24. We got 23 instead, but there you see Barney the Flagman vigorously waving that white rag.
I mean, he's only got to do his job every few months or every few weeks. I mean, I'm gonna put all my work into it too.
Are you kidding me? You know how many sessions are hosted a day on iRacing?
Okay, you know, that's true. For the league in particular.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, NARL Barney only has to do it once a week. There you go. I guess twice, because we have the sprinting feature. But anyways, Juan Blanat just has to execute this final lap. Lay back, cruise. Yeah, there we go. Give some gap. Sunday drive back around.
I think he's realized it. It's either that or he's come to terms with having a velocity and he doesn't realize that I think he has it.
So there was some conversation about incidents, by the way, for bonus points. And Rubilar, it looks like, is actually making this a lot closer than we initially were told. So Scott Racers, give us an update. It is a 1-point gap right now. Rubilar behind. 1 point.
Oh.
That means if Blanat loses 2 spots in these final few corners, it can still be Nicholas's championship. But as Nicholas Mateo rounds turn 10, I don't think that's going to happen. Blanat is safe by 1. Here we go to the stripe. Nicholas Mateo wins the final race of the North American Racing League here in Season 9. Rubilar will come across in second, doing everything he can. Tiago Moya will come across the line to win in Pro-Am here in a moment as well. But the story is, Juan Blanat, he is going to get it done. A champion for Juan Blanat by a single point at Watkins Glen.
And I mean, I was comparing it to 2021 Abu Dhabi. It lined up like that. It wasn't as much of a last lap as that was, but similar point difference, if you will.
And let's not forget this guy, Noel Marone, who wins in Pro-Am this season. He'll win the championship. It's a job well done, certainly, for this Argentinian. Each of these drivers have a lot to be happy about this evening, and I do hope that we see some rare road racer burnouts, donuts, what have you. I really hope we do tonight.
I think I saw some going on back in turn 1.
Hey, I think I saw Rubilar burning it down in turn 1. He has since called it quits.
You know, when I've got my first win, it was actually around this track, and I did my burnouts. My team, they're an oval team, or we're an oval team when I was with them. Not with them anymore, but they made fun of me for doing burnouts because they're like, road racers don't do burnouts. Yes, we do. We enjoy it just as much as you guys, as I think Marone's going to take it here. Gonna give us a few spins.
I think Marone. Oh, yeah, there we go. Noel's going for it.
You don't need that car anymore. You don't need that engine.
Burn it down.
It's the end of the season. Oh, yeah. Those tires are going in the trash anyway, man.
So Noel Marone will burn it down as your Pro-Am champion here in GT3 Season 9.
Well done.
Giving it some revs. Meanwhile, Juan Blanat, I think, is coming around to the front stretch to do it, maybe. And he is in tandem with his teammate Blas Diaz. Of course, they're split between divisions, but running under the same SDR banner. I can only imagine the emotion. And this has been the true return of a pro division in the North American Racing League. It was, Division 1, Division 2 for a while. Oh, 1! The heartbreak of the evening. Well, that's okay. I think, Noel is still celebrating, so we can live it up with him. But this has been the return of a true pro division in NARL, and we've seen these guys absolutely rise to the occasion every single week of giving us all the competition we could possibly ask for. So a big shout out to the entire pro division. And Scott went and found these guys, all of these pro drivers from some of the best teams across all of the iRacing land, and brought them here for this season of racing. And it absolutely has been exciting every single round. I'm excited to see what's next for Porsche Cup later in June. Following Noel around to the front stretch, we'll see if he does any more burnouts or if it's time to go through our unofficial race results for the final time this season. Dino Felipe's happy in the YouTube chat. That's good to see. Is Marone going to give us a little more of a smoke show here on the front stretch, maybe?
Just a little something extra? Give us a little something extra?
Come on, Noel, you got it. Or is he just going to park it?
Oh, he's getting the picture. He's getting the picture on the line. One more spin. Come on. Oh, yeah. Oh, a little bit of smoke. It's okay. Oh, there we go. Oh, no.
There we go. He's going to
There
throw it around.
is. There it is.
Thiago Moya letting us know he can't do the interview this evening. That's all right. We'll take a look at the unofficial race results here in just a moment. Just wanted to capture this moment for one of our champions here in Season 9.
I was only here about half the season, wasn't it? Since Suzuka,
I believe so, around that, yeah.
What a league! What a league! What a season just from this last half. I mean, it's been fantastic, and I mean, it's been a joy to be up here with you and watching these guys. Oh man.
The pleasure's been all mine. Thanks to Scott Reister and the entire North American Racing League. It's been a lot of fun, and this is how the final race of the season breaks down. Nicholas Mateo wins over Nicholas Rubelar. Those are your top two, and then it's a whole lot of blue behind them. And Thiago Moya does go third overall. How about that for a Pro-Am driver? A solid night out of him, and, you know, I think remove all of the championship, stuff going on, and the fact that it is the final race of the season. If this were race 5, like it was supposed to be in March, Thiago absolutely would be up there for driver of the day. But there's just been so much more going on, and just capping the season off, it just felt right to go some other directions. But Thiago ran a great race this evening, and he definitely deserves some very high praise. Jackson Resende 4th, Juan Blanat 5th, and that is how our champion is going to cap the season off. One final top 5 after starting the sprint race. So starting the 60 minutes of racing in 27th, he made up 22 positions. And he is rightly so leading the driver of the day vote currently. 6th place goes to Blas Diaz, and our Pro-Am champion, Noel Marone, will go 7th. Nick DePaula 8th, Miguel Colon 9th. Hector Alvarez caps off your top 10 this evening. Then it's a whole lot more blue, with Jacob Stafko 11th, followed by Lucas Souza, Diego Era, Ricardo Delgado, who spun around there on lap 1, Angel Ledesma in 15th, Joaquin Melo 16th, followed by Icaro Piccolo, Jose Ramirez, Mike Braun, and Scott Kimbrough, your top 20. Your final page of results for the season: Ricardo Rico, Ralph Benitez, Romain Rateau, Chris Winstone unfortunately had something go wrong there at the end of the race. He ended up dead last on the lead lap. Jose Correa there in 25th, Fabio Zamperlini 26th, and then Andy Ray Miller, Dino Filippa, and Roman Pascucci, the bottom 3. We'll be talking to any of the drivers that wish to come speak with us. It does look like we're going to get a few pros. So we will lead off with our race winner first, and that is Nicholas Mateo, who puts together another fantastic round, sweeping the night here at Watkins Glen. And Nico, I know you guys had to wait an extra couple of months to race here at Watkins Glen, but that's such a fast racetrack. I'm sure you guys run here decently often enough. What was it like out there on the racetrack for you?
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's a shame that I missed so much part of the championship because I really enjoy it. The track now is really good, especially with the new chicane, and I really like it. And yeah, I think both races were quite good from my side.
And of course, now begins the shift of gears from GT3 to Porsche Cup. Do we see you come back for some Porsche Cup racing this summer?
We will see, but probably if I'm available, why not? I would like to.
Well, I will be looking forward to seeing those bright blue, well, I guess the dark metallic blue and the bright yellow colors on a Porsche Cup car in June. It's been a lot of fun having you here, Nico, especially kind of playing spoiler these last few races. I mean, did this feel like a must-win for you just to kind of show what you're made of?
I mean, in the other races, like, was a bit frustrating because I was starting from a bit on the back of the reverse grid, but well, finally on this one I was able to show what I can do even from those positions. So I'm quite happy with the season I did. It's a shame that I missed most of the championship, but hopefully for the next edition I will be available.
Hopefully we have you for more of the Porsche Cup races this summer. And Nicholas, congratulations. Good to talk to you.
Thank you.
And there you see the Grid and Go driver there in the number 5, winning the final race of the season. We're going to first talk to Juan Blanat now, our champion on the pro side, who finishes 5th in the final race. And Juan, how aware were you of the point situation that entire race? Because we knew what was going on. Scott was feeding us info. We were biting our nails. But how stressed were you in the car?
Hi guys. Oh, I am so happy. Can I speak in Spanish?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. No, la verdad que mucha tensión, más que nada con lo que me pasó que no pude clasificar porque me sacó 2 veces el servidor. Increíble, nunca me había pasado. Y bueno, nada, después tuve que salir a remontar y cuidarme mucho las primeras vueltas por los accidentes y demás. Y por suerte fui eligiendo bien y sorteando todo. Y bueno, ya lo último veníamos ahí las últimas vueltas con la calculadora, con los chicos que me venían spoteando. Así que nada, muy, muy agradecido. Por suerte se dio vuelta lo que había arrancado muy mal hoy. Bueno, se dio vuelta todo y por suerte pudimos zafar de todos los accidentes y bueno, llegar a campeones.
And I'd imagine this is a big championship for you guys to win. There clearly were a lot of tensions, a lot of feelings on the line this evening. And you had to go through the ringer, of course. Qualifying, you got dropped to the back. You had to come from 27th, make up 22 overall positions, or 22 overall spots through the 2 races. I mean, how satisfying is this to go through all of the trouble this evening and still have the championship, albeit only by 1 point?
La verdad que es increíble, impensado, increíble. Por suerte se me dio todo como dije en el Hit y en la Future para poder ir avanzando y tratando de ir tranquilo. Así que bueno, nada, súper agradecido a todo el equipo SDR, a mis compañeros, Blas también que hizo un gran campeonato en el Pro Am. Felicitarlos a todos y nada, muy, muy contento de darle este campeonato al equipo y también con Dino en el campeonato de equipos que lo ganamos.
I'll tell you what, Blue. I don't speak Spanish. I recall most of Spanish class from high school. There was one word in there that I knew that stood out among the rest, and that was incredible. Of course, incredible, right? That, I think, sums up the entire season, right, Juan? I mean, it felt like the last few rounds, everything was getting thrown at you. Suddenly, Nicholas Rubler had a chance to get back up there, and he kept you honest tonight. Made it by 1 point. It's got to be like getting the monkey off your back, right? Finally being able to just breathe out. You did it.
Sí, increíble. I speak English a little, and I am so bad. Pero bueno, increíble, sí. O sea, un campeonato muy loco, se reparten muchísimos puntos y terminar ganando por 1 punto es recontra loco. Hubo muchos altibajos de todos en el campeonato y bueno, me salió bien a lo último.
Juan, thank you so much for your time this evening and all season long. Congratulations again, and I'm glad we get to talk to you guys. I'm glad we get to talk. I mean, what's the I rating here in this race for you? 9,000 it looks like ish.
Yes.
Yeah, 90. I mean, you guys, you're some incredible drivers. I sit at I think 1,300 or something like that on road because I don't race anymore. Maybe I could be 2,000, and that's still only scratching the surface. So genuinely, from a washed-up sim racer turned broadcaster, Juan, it's good to talk to you guys and hear what you guys have to say about these races, and it's an honor to watch and talk about you each week here in the series. So again, congratulations and thank you for being here.
Thanks, very thanks, and we will see the Porsche Cup championship. Will be amazing too.
Sounds good. We'll be seeing you in June then. Best of luck, Juan. Maybe you can go for 2 for 2.
Bye, thank you.
Juan Blanat, your champion here in Season 9 of the North American Racing League. We'll also be talking to a side of heartbreak here. That's Nicholas Rubelar, who kept Juan Blanat as honest as possible here in the final round. And Nicholas, I know Jordan was cheering you on very emphatically in the YouTube chat, and maybe too emphatically in some people's eyes, but I know he was excited to see you just have a chance at the championship this evening. and you got it from 15. Just at the start of this feature race, from 15 down to 1. How disappointing is it?
Well, in the end, to win the championship, I would have to win, and I gave it everything. But this is all that I had, and I'm pretty happy with the performance I had on the track. So, yeah, I mean, can't really say anything. I'm happy with my performance.
And I think you absolutely should be. Sometimes you just can't win them all. You can't win the championship sometimes, despite how good you might be on the racetrack. So, I guess, you know, putting this in your back pocket, looking forward to what's next. Of course, Drago Racing closing its doors, a month ago, has to be still a blindside. What is next for Nicholas Rubelar? Do we see you in Porsche Cup, and how ready are you to go for another championship?
I'm not sure if I'm going to do Porsche Cup yet. Well, I don't think I'm doing the championship. And about the team, well, I don't know if I'm gonna wait for an offer, or I'm gonna start my own sim racing team, which would be great to have control of that. And because, well, one of my dreams is to develop drivers. Like I really want to focus on the Latin American scenario and try to develop more drivers to be able to compete on these championships and at the top level. So yeah. We will see what's the future holding for me.
Well, I know who will be first in line to join your team. I think Jordan might be first in line. I know, you know, he is located in Jamaica, so he's not U.S. based. He's not quite Latin America based, but I mean, it's close enough, right? It's the right area of the world, but I know he'll be trying to sign up.
I mean, he earned his place like forever.
The biggest Nicholas Rubelar fan has a place in the team.
Definitely, he earned his place. So yeah.
Well, hey, Nicholas, like I was just telling Juan, it's just so nice to have you guys in this championship. I know for a while, you know, some of you guys went and did your own things for several seasons. You got these massive inflated I ratings that you have. It was, 9,000 for Juan. I see 5 digits for you, so 10,000 something. I mean, it's crazy, right? I mean, you've got 10 times the I rating I have on road. Maybe if I raced actively, I could get to 2,000, maybe. But that's still only scratching the surface. So, genuinely, Nicholas, to you and all of the pros this season, thank you for being here. You guys are a major reason as to why we are here this season and seasons beyond. Just thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. Congratulations on a season well done, even if it's not a championship. And, hey, hopefully we see you again very soon.
Yeah, thank you for hosting the streams. Thank you for being so nice to everyone, and to Scott for organizing this championship. I'm really happy to support the championship, the Pit Stop TV, and everyone that is involved. And yeah, it was really fun championship.
So there's Nicholas Rubelar, your pro runner-up in the championship. Unfortunately, not quite that one spot extra he needed. So again, to all the pros, thank you for being here this season. Boy, that was just a great way to cap things off. I mean, so many storylines all coming to a close here at Watkins Glen. We do have to go relatively speedily here, but any final thoughts here?
It's a bittersweet taste when a season comes to the end, but it's even better knowing that we have races coming back in about a month. And can I bring up the scheduling stuff with where I'm going here, or is that?
Absolutely.
Well, okay. First of all, I like to say my thanks to not only Andrew here, thank you for having me on and bringing me to this amazing league, but Scott Reister for allowing me to continue here with you for the amateur divisions. I am very excited to see. I'm very excited to be here, starting in Germany, Hockenheim, one of the first tracks I drove in the Porsche Cup. So that's going to be a bit of sentimental for me. And I mean, thank you to all the drivers. Thank you to Scott. Thank you to everyone for involved in this league, involved in running this league. I usually do it after every race here in Race Control. Say my thanks, but it's coming at the end of the season here. I'm excited to be back. It's so good.
It's been good to have you here, Blue. It's been another great season for NARL and everybody, and I think it's time to go ahead and also award the Driver of the Day honors. And I don't think this will be any surprise. I wish we could have told him live, actually. Couldn't think of it. But Juan Blena, driver of the day here this evening at Watkins Glen. And very deserved, certainly, for that driver in the number 89. But that said, unfortunately, as I said, we do have to kind of speed out of here. But thank you so much to the North American Racing League and everybody who makes these broadcasts possible. Congratulations to Juan Blena and Noel Marone. You know, we didn't get to talk to Noel. He doesn't speak English very well, it sounds like. So there is obviously the language barrier there. We are the North American Racing League, sure, but that does encapsulate some Spanish-speaking countries, and we have a bunch of South American drivers. So that's just the nature of it. You know, we have some different backgrounds across the world, and that is a treasured thing, honestly, in the scope of this league. I love that, you know, multicultural and everything. So genuinely, it's very cool to have all these drivers from all these different backgrounds. But as mentioned earlier, the next few broadcasts for us definitely oval-based. We go to Pocono Monday with the NORL Retro Cup Series with the NASCAR 2003 Cup cars. And then we go to Iowa for the final installment of our coverage with them before Summer Shootout begins on June 9th at Charlotte Motor Speedway. That will, of course, take myself and Zach Murtis to Charlotte for duties there through the summer months. Then Wednesday, we head out to I-55 in Peevely, Missouri with the Regal 305 Nationals. 305 Sprint Cars, dirt racing should be a lot of fun. You can catch all of this and more on the social media channels below. That's it. I do want to give, of course, a big final shout out to our partners with the championship and the channel here, of course. Maradness, JS Consulting, Screw Compressor Service Incorporated, and Rocket Designs, all helping us do these broadcasts every season. 12 seasons now in the books, 13 coming up very soon. A big thank you as well to our partners, of course, Whiplash Simcams, MX Wraps, ATVO, Murtis Esports, CC's Business, the North American Racing League, Whiplash Creative, and TZO Designs. That is it for us here this evening from Watkins Glen and this season for the North American Racing League. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you all next time here on Pitstop TV. Hopefully, yes, for the start of the next Porsche Cup season in June. That's June 25th for the pro drivers. But also hopefully Monday evening when we head out to Pocono with Nora. We'll see you then.